We kind of destroyed the proper ecosystem for like the pigs, the sheep, the chickens. The only thing that they provide us is food, so we treat them as food. I just love the taste. Beef, chicken, pork. It's a hard question. Ooh, that's going into this moral territory. Oh man, that's horrible. There's not enough space. Not enough space at all. Yeah, the entire thing is quite uncomfortable.
Hi everyone, this is Sheena and today I'm here with Dimitri and we're talking about animals. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So the first question is, are you an animal lover?
I would say so, yes. I had a dog before I came to Canada.
And what is it about animals that you like?
They're very pure. They have the capacity for unconditional loyalty, unconditional love. Although cats are sometimes very bad at showing this to you, but in most cases, yeah, they have much better connection with you than you sometimes have with other people, and that's what draws me to animals.
Yeah. So you think that, you can have a good connection with them in a very different way you can have with humans?
Probably, yes. It sounds a bit pessimistic, but
No.
yes.
I think a lot of animal lovers would agree with you there.
Probably.
Yeah. What do you think about animal abuse or people who abuse animals?
I think that's horrible, because there's like they cannot defend themselves. Like they rely on us to take care of them, since we're bringing them into our society, our what's the word, biosphere, I believe, and they accept the fact that like, oh, I live with the humans now, and I'm at the mercy of humans. So it kind of sounds horrible when somebody starts abusing the animal they're supposed to be taking care of.
So what you think is we have a responsibility to take care of
contract. It's like, okay, I use your abilities for, let's say, plowing the field, and I give you in return like a warm, what's the word, a barn, a food. Like if you're sick, I'm gonna take care of you. So it's sort of this. Sounds like economics, but there's sort of this exchange.
Yeah, like a symbiotic relationship we should have with animals, especially with those animals that we've kind of bred into existence or are there because of us.
Yeah.
That brings me to my third question, and there's no judgment here because I myself paid for it for many, many years. Are there any industries where you pay for animals to be abused and killed? And by that I mean, do you consume meat, dairy, eggs, and fish?
I do, yes.
Okay, so what you were saying before about how animals look to us, especially when we are the reason that they're here, would you say that would be true for chickens, cows, fish, pigs as well? We breed them into existence and say on a farm, they look to us to provide them food, water, shelter, and then we send them to slaughter. Do you think we have a bit of a contradiction there?
We do, but also we kind of destroyed the proper ecosystem for like the pigs, the sheep, the chickens. For certain species, we've destroyed the biosphere, the ecosystem so much for them that they've essentially been turned into like the only thing that they provide us is food. So we treat them as food.
I think you're right. I think the biomass of farmed animals far exceeds the biomass of wild animals now. I know it's quite shocking. What would be your guess? How many animals do you think we kill worldwide every year if you had to take a random guess?
That's a hard question, but let me. I would say about 500 million species are killed for food. Yeah. I don't know if that's an accurate number. You can tell me if you actually know.
I probably would have guessed about the same thing, somewhere between, I think, before I didn't know, I would have said, between like 2 and maybe 500 million. It's actually between 70 and 75 billion land animals every year.
I'm off by a lot, yes.
No, most of us, that's quite shocking.
Yeah, that's what, like 10 times the human population, kind of? Yeah.
And for fish, it's actually 2.7 trillion. So that's not including fish, the 70 to 75 billion. Fish alone is 2.7 trillion animals.
We eat too much?
If we go back to what you were saying about how animals look to us to protect them, especially those ones we breed into existence, do you think it's really possible to be an animal lover while still paying for animals to be confined and mutilated and eventually killed for our taste pleasure?
Ooh, that's going into this moral territory. It certainly is horrific that certain animals exist purely to be slaughtered and consumed, and then we have like a bunch of other animals that we treat as like, oh, this is my pet. I love my dog. I love my cat. Whatever. But at the same time, we kind of destroyed a bunch of other animals, and their only existence is suffering to be on our plate, and that's unfair. And I wouldn't mind if we stopped like doing this. We would lose probably a bunch of sort of species that purely exist in, I don't know, captivity. Is that
Exactly. Yeah, they really only exist because humans have bred them into existence and domesticated them.
I wouldn't go against eating meat, because I mean we've eaten meat even before we became this horribly dystopian, obsessed capitalistic society, which is horrible. I don't know, like Native Americans, First Nations, they've in a different way they've eaten meat, but they treated the animals much nicer than we did. So I wouldn't advocate that like we should stop consuming meat or like consuming animals, because that's part of just the natural way of life people have lived before us. People much wiser and much more caring about nature have lived in a similar consuming capacity, that they also consumed similar things.
I'm going to stop you there because I want to address some of the things that you touched on. So the first one was that, these animals don't exist in the wild. So yes, we have kind of bred these animals through many years through selective breeding to have the desired traits that we want in them, right?
Horrible thing, actually.
Yeah, the kind of Franken animals that we have right now,
as well.
Absolutely, yeah, especially from breeders. So like the chickens that we have now, they shouldn't be that big in the wild. These animals don't exist in the wild. The dairy cows we have now, they don't exist in the wild. So when we're talking about transitioning to plant-based agricultural system, it's not going to happen overnight, is it? It's about phasing out humans breeding them, because most are done through artificial insemination.
I think we produce a lot of like the vegetable production. A lot of it is also centered around feeding the animals that we produce to be later consumed. So we're not actually utilizing that percentage of vegetable production for us. Correct. It's just like it goes. I wouldn't say wasted, but like it kind of is wasted.
Well, it's a very small percentage of our calories that we get from the animal. But so we're feeding all of our food, feeding all of our cereals, all of our grains, all of our soy, all of our wheat to the livestock that we eat for a small percentage of calories and for a small percentage of protein. Like you said, it's a very poor use of our land, of our water, and of our food. I think they estimate that just by ceasing animal agriculture alone in the US and transitioning to plant-based agriculture, we could solve world hunger. I think we could feed an additional 800 million people.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Another one that you touched on was indigenous populations throughout history that have consumed animals. A lot of the advocacy work that we do are for people here in Toronto. In indigenous communities, perhaps it's a different story where they're eating animals to survive. But how about here in Toronto now? So for yourself, what would hold you back from going vegan?
Oh, I just love the taste. Yeah. And it's not just like a specific. It's not like just pork or just beef. No, like almost all, like 90% of the meat that I tried is like, if cooked properly, is amazing.
Which animals do you eat the most?
Beef, chicken, pork.
Can I show you a quick video on the egg industry?
You probably can, yes, but I probably have seen it. If it's a video from Vice, do you know what Vice is?
I do know Vice. No, this is not that video.
No, okay.
No. You can hold it if you like.
Ooh, they're like with the shells and everything. Oh man. That's horrible. Oof. There's not enough space. Not enough space at all. Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Uncomfortable. Yeah. The entire thing is quite uncomfortable.
Were you aware of any of those things that happened to the chickens?
I have the video I've seen before. It didn't outright show what was happening to the chickens. They mentioned the cramped space, that they're forced into an unnatural sort of way of life. But I have not seen the actual sort of mutilation that happens. No, I have not seen that before.
Yeah, most people haven't, until we go ahead and search out this information. It's kept quite hidden from us. Cows are 18 months old when they're killed for beef. They can live. Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's a bit too short, but yeah.
So those are the egg layers. So you eat chicken as well?
Yeah.
Do you know how old broiler flesh chickens are when we kill them in Canada?
No, I have no idea.
What would be your guess?
12 months?
They're around 5 weeks old.
Oh. That's quite early, yeah.
Because humans have selectively bred them to have the traits that we want, the large breasts, the thighs, the large legs. They collapse under their own weight. They're packed in ammonia-filled sheds, and they reach slaughter weight between the ages of 4 weeks and 6 weeks old.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think if you are getting a puppy, the minimum age you can get the puppy at is 8 weeks, I think.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah. The chickens we get in the grocery store in that little container, or you go to KFC or wherever it is, those are 4 weeks old.
I try not to go to such places because they're full of shit.
Well, even the ones you get in the butcher shops, they're also 4 to 6 week old babies.
Yeah, not nice. Yeah.
So you were saying earlier about, taste. Taste would hold you back from, say, going vegan or going plant-based. What do you think is more important? Your taste pleasure or the life of an animal?
Life of an animal, but again, I wouldn't refuse the taste. If I had to scale back, sure, but I would not give up the taste.
You would not give up fully.
Fully, yes.
Okay.
It's.
Would you like to take some resources, some brochures?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No. I'll probably be processing it a bit more in my head.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you.